Hi, it's GotAUkulele, it's review day. Remember, this is just the summary. You'll get a lot more detail about this one on the written review, which is linked below. Do consider that Patreon. Do consider subscribing. Helps me out. This is a return for a brand on the reviews page. That brand is a US brand that make a range of value Chinese instruments. They've been around for many years. In fact, been around about as long as I've been writing this website. And the brand is called Eddy, and this is one of their newish models. It is their Peanut Soprano, which is certainly quite different. It's a look that you may think is reminiscent of the peanut shape that Eddy put out some years ago in electric, and I think that's got a resurgence happening. Wasn't a very good instrument at all. Eddy say the design is theirs. I don't think there is a design. I think this is just a double bout instrument that's been shrunk across the middle. That's not a design, it's a double bout. Squashed double bout. And it's pretty simply made. It's made of all laminate mahogany, single piece on the top, one on the back, one on the sides, that's curved round in that double bout shape, finished in a satin, very reminiscent of things like the Carla KAS, the Lanakai LU21, the Ohana SK10, those entry-level mahogany sopranos. It's not bad for that. It's just not going to win any design awards or glamour awards, but it's a functional, classy look. That's all right. The bridge, that's a disappointment. Made of walnut. It's a tie bar style with these big wings. This is a small vibrating top. That's why Martin put on their Sopranos slotted bridges, because they use less wood, less to put on here. So this is just total overkill for such a small. I mean, it completely takes over the top. No other decoration, but you will have spied the side sound port. I'm not against those, but I'm just not really for them either. I mean, I couldn't give a damn if they were there or not. But being such a small-bodied instrument that's probably going to be a bit lower on volume and projection, I kind of get that. So this projects the sound up to the player. All right, fair enough. That also lets me have a good look inside. It's pretty tidy on the whole. Notched linings, fairly delicate bracing, quite a bit of glue though. But it's not the worst I've seen. Up to the neck, this is made of mahogany. It's got a kind of nice sort of swoopy shaping here to the heel. The joints are pretty well hidden, one here and one at the headstock. It's a very Chinese rounded back profile, but it is 35mm and 28 G2A, so that's pretty roomy for a soprano, to be honest, on a par with the Kamaka. Fitted with a blackwood fingerboard, which is a bit too pale for my liking, but it's got a bit of edge shaping to it, and it's got a standard 12 nickel silver frets to the body, very standard for a soprano. They are on the edge of being sharp, but not. Very, very close. So they get a buy, just. Position markers, keeping it simple, at 5, 7 and 10, facing out, no side dots. Shame. Beyond the plastic nut, we've got this asymmetric headstock shape. That's all right, with the Eddy logo etched in. And you know what I'm going to say about the tuners. These are gears on a soprano. They look like ears. They look ugly. Friction pegs would look so much better, particularly on such a small little instrument. Retails at about $75 in the UK, which is not a bad price at all for something like that. They call it kind of a travel ukulele. I don't really buy that. It's no smaller tip to tail than any other soprano, so if you're trying to fit it in a hard cabin bag, for example, it still won't fit. I suppose it allows it to pack into a backpack a little bit easier, but it's minimal. If you're going to pack a soprano, you can pack one of these and vice versa, so I don't really get that. But it's something different. It's a bit novelty. It certainly doesn't look like a soprano. It's made very well. It feels very solid, whilst still being very light. Fairly nicely balanced, bit neck heavy, but not hugely. But it's a nicely put together little instrument. And you'd expect it to be really quiet. It's not particularly quiet. It's got fairly decent volume and fairly decent sustain. Where it does really let me down, though, is in the character of the tone, probably generated by this very thin body. It's thin. It works like a ukulele. The intonation's not bad, needs a bit of a tweak. But it's so thin, it's brittle. sorry, yeah, that intonation is slightly off on one of those, on the E string, I believe. Yeah. You know, I don't know. It's kind of hits and misses, really. It's novelty enough. It's different looking. You never perform with it, though. Maybe I am missing something on the treble. Maybe I am. Maybe this is a nice little instrument just sort of throw in the boot of your car, throw in a rucksack and take with you everywhere you go. It's not really for performing, but it allows you to sit in a hotel room and just have a play of something. But I tend to do that with a soprano anyway, so I don't really know. I don't really know who it's aimed at. Anyway, it doesn't get a totally bad score. It doesn't get a bad score at all, really. It doesn't get into the recommended categories because I think it's pretty specific who's going to buy this, and it wouldn't be me, I'm afraid. But it's not badly made. I can't get over the sound though, but it's cheap. You know, swings and roundabouts. The Eddy Peanut Soprano EFPNUT code, more specifically. Made in China, pretty cheap. Not really for me, but interesting enough. And there we are. Back next week. Not a soprano next week. What is it next week? We're on to tenor. We'll see you very soon. As I say, do consider the Patreon. Subscribe to the channel. You'll get notifications of when I'm here, if you like this kind of thing. Or not. Have a good end to your weekend. I will see you soon. Bye-bye.